Yeah. So, another video for you motherfuckers. It's like, I remember back in the day, like, why is all this shit happening to me and all this other stuff? Like, you know what I mean? I want comfort. I want to feel comfort. I want to feel validated. I'm looking so hard to get people to validate me on the outside. It's like, because you don't know why, you know in your heart you're not doing it. And something happens one day, you just go through enough shit, and it's enough shit, and you get enough rejection and enough fucking turmoil and all the bullshit that comes with everything in life, and you have it exceptionally hard. And you're like, and then one day it clicks and it says, nobody's coming for you. Nobody's coming for you, motherfucker. What are you gonna do, motherfucker? You're gonna stay, you're just gonna wallow, and you know it's unfulfilling. You know, whatever it is, cheap, trivial pleasures, giving in to desires, the immediate gratification, giving in. That, tell me, does that make you happy? No, it doesn't at all. It leads to perpetual, like a decline in your mental state, your physical state, your fucking emotional state, everything, your self-confidence, because you just let yourself down all the time. But if you start just going, well, and then one day it comes to you and you stop being the victim and you start looking at life like all this bullshit, all the fucking bullshit that came to you and that separated you because you were like, man, who the fuck is going through all this shit? And then you all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, I'm chosen. Like, because I went through all this shit. And all that shit, it's like, it was just sharpening of the stone. It was like, or it was a breaking down of the old, it was a breaking down of the bad, like, it was, when you take iron ore and you melt it, and you put it in the thing, and you just heat it up red hot, and you beat the shit out of it. All that, and eventually, after all the tempering, a fine sword is made. And you realize that all these challenges, all the bullshit, all of it was an opportunity for you to grow, and an opportunity to become more, an opportunity to actualize your potential of here. Because why else are you here? There's no other reason. There's no other reason than to become everything you can be. That's the reason. It's the challenge, it's the calling, it's all religions speak of. All the fundamental religions, they all speak of this. It's just striving and actualizing your potential. And so, that's the fundamental truth of all reality. All good fucking stories have it. It's the hero's journey. In a hobbit, it was just a lowly hobbit who did all that. So, the moral of the story is, no matter how small and shit you feel, no matter what, you have the ability to learn something. You have the ability to grow. You have the ability to become, you just have this ability to become indomitable, unstoppable, a champion. But it's just that one day when you make that decision to say, hey, I'm done being a victim. All this, and you just look at it as like, wow, all this has been a challenge. All these setbacks, everything has just been what created this mindset. And you look at all life as just like this big playground of like all the turmoil, everything. It's like it doesn't get to you anymore. In fact, you're like, bring more, because that is what makes me. That is what made me. That is what created this. That's what, and the more I go through, the better I become. It's just, so, with that mentality, you could take down anything. Anything at all is a challenge. Anything at all can be used to sharpen the blade. And so that's the difference. And I talk to people, I listen to people, and everybody's trying to blame this person, blame that, blame the circumstance, but in reality, instead of going, okay, what can I do with this? Like, okay, what can I do with this? Okay, what can I do with this? And I know that, like, a lot of people, they just go talk about other people. And they talk about this, and they talk about that, and they complain. All they do is complain and talk about other people. And it's crazy. And it's like, I don't want any part of that anymore. Like, that's for fucking mediocre people who hate their lives and don't want to do anything about bettering their own. Because it's real easy to point the finger. It's real easy to find fault. But it's real tough when you go, man, it's me. It's me. It's real tough to be like, I'm not living up to my standards. It's real tough to admit that you're wrong. It's real tough to like, maybe you have to restructure your whole life. Maybe you have to let go of people. Maybe you have to do this. Maybe you have to do that. It's as simple as that. And if you follow the calling, because it's within everybody, and it's saying, hey, go for it, man. Do it, do it, do it. Believe in yourself. You have an idea, go for it. Go for it. And I also believe that if you start eating properly and you're doing all the fucking, and you're making all the right choices, that all of a sudden you will become the right person. The opportunity might not arise around you, but the opportunity might arise in your mind that you wouldn't have seen if you were drinking or fucking just eating unhealthy, or not having the attitude of like where you go really push yourself in the gym and you find out like, oh, I can do anything. And then all of a sudden you start getting these ideas, and then if you feel like you can do anything, and then all of a sudden you go, well, I'm gonna do that, and then all of a sudden you're like, how can I be successful? And you start asking yourself these abstract questions, and the abstract questions become concrete because you're like, you start being like, well, what does it mean to be successful? What does it mean for me? What would I do to be happy? What would I do? And you start asking these questions to yourself, and then you let your mind figure it out. And if you're in the right state of mind, you're doing the right things, prioritizing sleep and food and everything, you start seeing, it starts becoming clear. Things start becoming open in your mind, and then that's when it's like, because you've done everything right. Because you've done everything right. You've also been honest with yourself, so your whole detection system of what's bullshit, what's not, is pretty on point because you're there. And then the people who lie to themselves all the time, oh, I tried my best, I did this, it's their fault, all this bullshit. You know what they're doing? And especially the people who lie for no fucking reason, maybe because they feel insecure or whatever the fuck, they're trying to look better. It doesn't matter. They're bullshit. It's fucking wrong. And what they're doing is completely warping their whole detection system of what's true and what's not within themselves, within reality, and they can't even see what the fuck they're doing. They can't see what the fuck anything is going on because they're blinding themselves to fit their ego. But they know to fit their like whole justifications for their actions. They're trying to do that, all that. But they know in their heart it's not real. That's why it's like, you know, one little fucking piece comes in of truth and it destroys the whole. It's like a house of cards. It's like one card comes out and the whole thing falls down, and then that's why their whole identity collapses, and then they feel like, wow, I feel like I did this shit, and I feel like I should kill myself and everything else. Yeah, because you want to know why? You're living a lie. Build yourself on a strong foundation of truth and drive and seeking the fucking, what can I do to better myself? Build yourself on that foundation of discipline, and you will. Then the truth can come in and you go, okay, what can I do with this? Yes, I can use this. It won't collapse you. And in fact, you'll get strength from the fact the truth is setting you free. That's what it's about. Motherfucker.